Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a quick little comparison here of the speed and camera between the Galaxy A7 2017 and the S7 Edge here. So these are very similar in terms of the build quality, although I do prefer the A7 in terms of the back here, which does attract less fingerprints. But how do the actual specs compare, like the camera, etc.? We're going to check it out here. We'll just start them at the same time, and then we can do the speed test. And with these two, I think you're getting roughly the same kind of size screen. I think the A7 is a little bit bigger, so that could be good for your content, but obviously we do have 2K on the Edge, and it does boot on a little bit faster here. We are running obviously the Android Nugget on the Edge here versus Marshmallow. So let's just start off here, have a look at the day-to-day speed and see how they compare here. I think the version of TouchWiz is a little bit newer on the A7, if you ask me. It feels a little bit fresher, but you can see here straight away it looks like the S7 is a little bit snappier with some of these basic apps. I have no idea what this app is. I don't know how it got onto my device, but let's have a look at the camera here. Yeah, a little bit snappier on the right there. Weather. So comfortable victory here, I think, for the S7 Edge phone, which you can probably get the S7 Edge for just a little bit more than the A7, really. We're just going to have a look at some games, see how the multitasking compares here. I'm thinking the multitasking might actually be better on the A7 from what I've seen. But you can see going into it, solid victory again for the S7 Edge here. And again, I don't think one of them has actually opened up faster on the A7 yet. I think they should have put the higher end Exynos in the A7 because it is the most expensive model and it has the biggest screen and the biggest battery, so it does make sense really. One more. We do have Slither. Yeah, so very conclusive here. We can also have a look at the Wi-Fi, see who is dominant here. So start with the Edge. Not messing around today. A7, it's your turn. Don't let me down. So I'm quite impressed actually with the A7 and the A5 when it comes to the Wi-Fi. It's quite good. Obviously, it's not the best, but you can see, it's only 50 meg difference here. Usually, it's like the Edge is twice as fast as the mid-range handset. So props where props is due. How does this translate into your web browsing here. Let's have a look at some websites. So BBC. Oh, no, that was different. For some reason, the same link gives a different website. Let's try Yahoo. Edge here, nice and snappy. So let's try Amazon. I have cleared the cache on both of them as well. Let's try Verge. Go. So doesn't seem to be that huge a difference here, but I think the Edge is slightly faster loading the adverts, so that's something to consider. Quite a difference that time. So I'm probably going to give this to the Edge again. You can see it's still very potent when it comes to the speed. What about the multitasking? I think the A7 is going to win this. So let's just compare here. Oh no, it's reloading. And today the S7 Edge is keeping it in memory, I think, here. That's strange. The other day it was terrible. So it depends on the day, I guess. I guess at the weekend the multitasking is good on the S7 Edge. But you can see the A7 is not too far behind here. It's certainly doing quite well. Let's try the games. So let's try this one. Straight in here. So maybe Samsung's rolled out a sneaky little update that I didn't notice and fix the memory here on the... Oh no, wow, both of them crashed on that game. What's that all about? So maybe something weird there going on with the GTA. Will you let me out? Wow, that one completely messed up the phones. So we're getting some reloading here at the later stage of the multitasking test. But it kept that one in memory. So not that bad as I was expecting on the S7 Edge. And the A7 did quite well, but it did reload one of them. So that is a slight knock on the chalkboard here. But how do the cameras compare? That is something I was quite interested to see, because where we are looking at the for the first time here, I think, for the camera, and we can have a look at some shots I took recently, a few in low light and a few in your good light, etc. And I gotta say, I think there isn't that much difference. Perhaps if you really zoom in close to the low light shots, you should probably see a high quality image still coming out of the S7 Edge if you really zoom in, but not many people are going to be that fussed, to be honest. And I think it has quite a good aperture on the A7, so you're not going to see too much difference, really, I don't think, in terms of the camera here. But I think those of you who are still looking for the best would be worth paying a little bit more for the S7 Edge, really. So it just does things a little bit nicer, I think, particularly when you're doing your close-up shots. But I was quite impressed nevertheless. It would have been nice to see optical image stabilization on the A7 given the price. Is the video, you can have a look as well. We did do a comparison here. It doesn't do 4K, unfortunately, so we did full HD in both of them, and I'd say perhaps the Edge has the edge again here in terms of the smoothness. the exposure, as well as the focus speed. The focus speed is massively different. A7 really slow in comparison to the S7 Edge to focus, so do bear that in mind. I think the video is going to be much nicer on the higher end phone here. Yeah, just a quick little comparison here then between the S7 Edge and the A7 2017. If you want my advice, I'd still go for the S7 Edge overall, if you can reach for that. But the A7 is not far off it really in terms of the speed, etc. You could see in this video, and probably has some advantages as well, like Type C. It has probably a better battery life as well, because it's bigger, and there's certainly some reasons to go for the A7. But I think in next iteration Samsung should improve the processor and obviously give it optical image stabilization. So yeah, just a quick video here. Hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.